What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. I haven't posted for the last couple of days, guys. I haven't abandoned you. I've just been extremely busy, and I actually had a couple of different projects going on, but we are back at it, and we are on a test server. I actually had to wait for the test server as well because I want to try one epic champion. A lot of you guys have been telling me, Skratch, you are sleeping on this epic champion, and we're gonna see if he can actually live up to the expectations. Now, how I mentioned, he is an epic champion. He is an Ice Blast, and we are talking about Seidic, guys. Now, you know me, I'm a massive simp for Gertin, okay? Gertin, she's absolutely amazing, top-notch, and at the same time, a lot of you guys are telling me Seidic, he is actually better. Now, I find it hard to believe that, but till I don't try it, I cannot actually confirm it or deny it, So I hope he's good. I hope he's even better, that would be awesome. But basically, this champion, unlike Gertin, he will need to have a full 100% crit rate, so full crit rate. If the hero has ice crystals after casting a battle skill, cast the skill again. The hero skill has 50% chance of ignoring 30% of the enemy defense, which is actually pretty nice. The battle skill strikes the enemy 3 times, each dealing 80% attack call damage. The skill damage stacks up by 10% each time this skill is cast in battle, up to 10 stacks. So you're gonna get the stacks on damage, which is nice as well, and is a triple hitter. Then you have the ultimate, deals attack all damage to enemies, and he has a chance to gain a stack of ice crystal. Now, one thing to keep in mind right here, guys, is that this skill is on a 20 seconds cooldown, while the one from Gertin is on 16. Okay, so this overall is actually better, it's more beneficial. Their kits are pretty similar in a way or another. She buffs crit damage, crit rate, so I wouldn't say that similar. Now, what I dislike about Seidic personally are his total base stats, So she has 35k HP, almost 1.1k defense, 1.4k attack. Then Seidic, he drops a massive 10,000 HP, guys. That's a massive difference in my opinion, especially when you're trying to keep him alive in the Vortex. But we're gonna give it a go. We're gonna see what this champion can do, of course, because the main thing that I'm very curious to see is what sort of damage can he do with the exact same gear in the Vortex compared to Gertin. And of course, not only in the Vortex, that's where we're gonna do the test. Then I'm gonna run him in a couple of dungeons just to see his true firepower. But let's actually head over to the Vortex. I could go straight to the dummy, but for whatever reason, I prefer to do it in the actual content in the Vortex. We actually get to see some animations rather than somebody just getting hammered. We are on difficulty 1, guys, because I just unlocked this test server and I didn't have a chance to wait 4 days to do each one of the difficulties once, or 3 days, sorry. So we're gonna start right here. Because this Vortex probably it will take ages to kill us, we're going to stop at exactly 5 minutes. Now, one thing to keep in mind, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get him to 100% crit rate. So I have 97% crit rate, but I'm going to try to drop the crit rate on Gertin to a similar level, while I maintain the exact same gear. Probably I'm going to play around with the runes. I already gave her runes, actually, that have no crit rate. I'm just hoping that will even it out, hopefully. He does have the Manticore, he has an Inventor set, and they're both fully scrolled. So I'm very curious to see what sort of damage he will get in here. He's paired with Bladin. He will be his activator, giving him ice crystals and attack up. And then, of course, we have our 5th champion, which is Zorak. He will basically boost a bit of damage on all of them. The main idea is that Dragonheir, unlike other games like Raid Shadow Legends, for example, they don't have an RNG on the hits. So the hits won't fluctuate as they do in other games, but you have kind of like a 15-20% of RNG in the hits. You don't have that here, so that's actually very good because we won't have any issues. Of course, if the defense down might not land every now and then, that can make a bit of a difference. But if the difference is big enough, it's gonna be crystal clear who's the GOAT, But let's crack on. We have a defense aura. I do have a preset. I actually have the exact same preset I'm running on my main team on my account. The reason why I was not able to test this on my account is because I don't have a Seidic build, and I don't think I really need him. Not at the moment anyway. Like maybe for the world bosses in the in the other world event at some point, but I'm not 100% sure just yet, you know. So I'll decide later if I'll build him. Probably I'll decide after this video. I'll see right now if he's good or not, if he's actually worth it. Now, one thing that I really love about Ice Blast, guys, is that they are obliterating dungeons as well, you know. Like, if you have Beldele, the exclusive, you're gonna probably farm most of the dungeons with her and with Sheena in, I don't know, 40 to 50 seconds. I'm doing it with Gertin in approximately 60 to 70 seconds on most of the dungeons, except the Ancient Battlefield, and feels amazing. I feel like Seidic could probably do a very, very similar thing. So we're gonna try them in, guys, in this format right here. Probably I will be dropping Zorak out of the team and bring in a decreased attack, but that shouldn't be an issue whatsoever. So for the moment, we have him with 3+ million damage, and not looking too bad actually. So we got the stacks, we got the increased attack from Bladin on him, so he should be popping off with his damage. What I kind of like want to see is his ultimate skill when it comes in play. You know, like what sort of numbers he's hitting with that. And it seems like the stacks from the battle skill are not something that are constantly staying on. It's something that kind of like resets, you know. So I feel like he would be much, much better. Okay, I've seen a 300k hit right there, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was a 300k hit from the ultimate skill, right? That's pretty nice. So going back to the stacks of on him, you know, from the battle skill, I feel like those ones, they're not staying up for a long time. So I feel like if we would have probably Sheena in the team instead of Bladin to put more ice stacks on him, so he uses that battle skill more often when he actually procs it, you know, when he triggers it. I feel like the stacks would go better on his damage with Sheena, you know. But I want to try it with Bladin because, hey, not everybody has all the legendaries in the game, and this gives you an idea as well if this champion is worth it for your own account too, you know. You're going to be like, oh, you know what, I actually have a Bladin and a Seidic, but I don't have Gertin. Are these two champions going to improve any of my teams, you know? So this is something that not only is going to show me if I was sleeping on this epic champion, but it will show you guys a few different options that you might have access to on your account, you know, which is definitely pretty good. So we're going to stay in here for 2 more minutes and a half. Exactly at 5 minutes, we are stopping. So far, so good. 8 million damage from him, and he is dominating the rest of the team with 56%. Bladin, he doesn't have such a good build. Zorak has a pretty decent build. His damage is actually pretty weak sauce right now from Zorak. I guess it might scale better the higher we go on difficulties, or just Bladin and Seidic overpower him. Like they bring so much more damage compared to him, which probably is the case, you know. But let's see. How are we looking so far in here? 1 more minute and 50 seconds left. 17 million damage, and we have 10 million from him. And I feel like he's definitely good. He's definitely good. Like, this is not trash damage whatsoever. Like, I used Bladin before, and I like Bladin, and I used as well Gertin, of course, not on the exact same build that we have right now, so it's a bit different. It's hard to kind of like put it out there, but I feel like I'm pretty happy seeing that damage from him, you know. And yeah, he might be very, very close to Gertin, you know. He might give her a run for her money, you know. And maybe instead of Zorak, I'm just gonna put him in the team, you know. That might increase my damage too. Very, very curious to see, because if that's the case, I'm dropping Zorak for him. Like, Zorak does increase the damage on my champions by a good amount, you know. But I feel like a champion that drops such a high damage, you know, is going to have such a significant impact on my team. Right now, I managed to increase the damage on my team. I'm getting very close to 50 million on difficulty 4 on my main account. So I'm looking to beat that. I'm looking to get as high as possible. It's kind of like a friendly competition with the buddy of mine, you know. So I'm looking to see if I can beat his damage with Beldele, because he has the exclusive, I don't, you know. So hey, all options on the table, you know. If Seidic will will be able to do that for me in the team, I'll be like, hell yeah, come to Papa, you know, come to Papa. I would definitely like to see that. Sheena is such a good activator that I don't need to use Bladin, for example, you know. But we're getting close, guys. We're getting close. So 15.10 seconds, more or less. So we're gonna stop it. And the damage looks pretty impressive. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. The damage looks pretty damn impressive. Okay. It's pretty hard to see the hits, guys, because there's so many different things popping on the screen, you know. Okay, so exactly 15 seconds. My god. So quit. Let's see the damage. Let's see the total damage. Maximum damage. So 29.1 in total. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And then statistics, we have 58.2% from him, which is 16.9 million. 16,958,000 to be more specific. So I'm gonna quickly take a screenshot just because I might forget it. You know, I might forget it. The total score doesn't matter. That can fluctuate because the other champions, they don't have a specific build there. But we're going to redeploy. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go to the second team right here. And I'm going to move the gear from here to Bladin. So he has 97% crit rate. I'm going to try to make the exact same thing for her too. I know it's going to be a bit hard. And yes, it is a bit of RNG with the 3% only. Is a crit, it's not a crit. But that's fine. It's not going to be the end of the world. And how I mentioned, it won't be as impactful as you might think it is, you know. Because if it's a difference in the damage, we're clearly going to see it. So there we go. Hopefully I don't have to change any of these pieces because this will make it a bit harder for me to match the stats, you know. With the runes is kind of like straight to the point. Maybe we can mess around with the chess piece, you know. Now one thing with Seidic, he won't have such a good survivability, so I feel like you will have to drop some damage in order to get better survivability on him. So here we are. So we have 76 crit rate, and she buffs with, what is the buff? 20%? Yeah, so basically we're almost there. This is 4%. I don't think I'm going to be able to change that. So that's fine. That's fine. Not a problem. Now, one thing to keep in mind, none of these champions have a aura for the Vortex, unfortunately. We got the team ready. Let's see what's the difference. Who is better, Gertin or Seidic? And I'm very, very curious to see the difference as well, you know. I'm actually very tempted to put some gear on Seidic and put him instead of Zorak and see where it goes. You know, will the damage go up or it will go down? I'm very, very curious about it. I do have a feeling that probably it will go up because he actually drops some very serious damage. Now, in my team, Gertin does something like, I don't know, out of the 50 million, she does like 25 or something, you know? So that's very, very, very high damage. And if Seidic can do something similar, it would be like, wow, you know? It would be very impressive. So we are with a very strong start right here. Gertin at almost 2 million damage. Now she does have the benefit of using the ultimate skill more often. You know, 16 seconds is 16 seconds. It doesn't hit as hard though. So this only hits for approximately 100 plus K to 200K with a very good build and have defense down and everything. You know, have a lot of attack buffs on. What I like about her is that she buffs the crit rate, so you only need 80% crit rate basically. She buffs crit damage, which makes it even better. You see 225K right there with all the buffs, but we had no defense down. Another thing with her is much harder to time her ultimate with a champion that puts defense down, because the other champion that puts defense down is on 20 seconds, and defense down only comes from artifacts, guys. I know I'm always getting this question when I'm talking about it and I'm doing videos. Skratch, how do you put defense down? Like, I have no champion that does it. I cannot find any of them. Basically, only 2 artifacts in the entire game can do it, guys. So here we are, 5 million damage so far. I wish I would have paid a bit more attention at how was the damage looking and the timing at the same time, you know, to kind of like get an idea. So this is almost 10 million damage at barely 2 minutes in. So that's pretty good. I think we dealt like what? 36 in total or something like that. Which doesn't really matter that much anyway, how I mentioned. The main thing that matters is to kind of like see a bit the difference in between Seidic and Gertin and how close they are in terms of damage. It doesn't matter if he's not better than her, but if he is very close to her, how I mentioned, it will give you guys some solid options for the Vortex, for the world bosses, because he is a ranged hero, while Gertin is a melee hero. So ranged heroes are much better overall for the world bosses and just bosses in general. Usually the melee ones tend to get wrecked, you know, but still not too bad. But here we go. Halfway through, and we are at 15 million damage. She's already at 9.6. 9.6. I'm actually not even gonna pick at the screenshot. I'm gonna wait till the end, but I'm very curious to see like I think she's doing more. She's definitely doing more by the looks of it. But not by such a big margin, you know, or at least it doesn't seem like it for the moment. 328k with the defense down right there. That was a nice ultimate. Beautiful. All those buffs benefit her a lot, you know, like that's the thing with her. And the extra survivability, in my opinion, is so game changing. Like, look at all the buffs on her. Crit rate bonus, crit damage bonus, like all this helps her a lot, you know, like so much damage from here, man. The main issue that I have currently with my Vortex team is that I cannot survive longer than 6-7 minutes. So the next natural thing, the next part of evolution for my team would be to have better survivability. And I feel like if the champions are squishy, it's going to be hard to get that organized. 13.5 million damage so far almost. And we have approximately 90 seconds left of this run, guys. Let's see. Where are we heading from here? Okay. Zorak. I wish Zorak would enable the Ice Blast champions better so you don't need Sheena. If he would enable them, he would be very good. Because you could drop Sheena and bring in another massive damage dealer. But unfortunately, he's not really an activator. He's more of a damage conductor as well, you know, rather than activating the Ice Blast heroes. So Sheena, she's still the MVP as an Ice Blast activator, putting the Ice Blast ice crystals, you know, the stacks. I was gonna say the Ice Blast stacks, but that doesn't sound right. 16.3 million damage. Okay, not looking bad at all, actually, not looking bad at all. And we have 30 seconds left. 27 million damage in total. So I think the previous team actually dealt 26 million rather than 36. There's no way we're gonna get 6 more millions in 30 seconds. And yeah, Bladin doing decent damage too, but I see him more of an activator too. He's great to land the defense down because of the multi-hit skill, you know, on the A3, and looking pretty juicy actually. Okay, here we go. 15 on the dot, guys. 15 on the dot. Oh, she actually got a cheeky hit him right before. She's trying to trick us, guys, you see? She's trying to cheat the game. Okay, 31.8. And let's see her total damage. So her total damage was 19 million. Okay, so she definitely did more. But hey, only by like 2 million, guys. And that is honestly not such a crazy difference. So 100% I've been sleeping on Seidic. And if you guys have him, don't sleep on him either, okay? Because right now, if you don't have a Gertin, he can actually slide in your team and elevate your Vortex team, for example. I know a lot of you guys are still using wild teams or different elements, and maybe you have Bladin, you have him available, and you're like, well, I'm not planning to use these champions. It is harder to get the support for a team like this. Now I have the staff on my Gyarius, so that enables my team to survive longer, but I don't have a decreased attack, so that's kind of like the replacement. You could potentially drop Zorak for a decreased attack if you have that option. And yeah, Seidic definitely pretty solid. Now, I'm quickly gonna prepare a couple of dungeon teams, guys. We're gonna do the Grave of Curse, and we're gonna see, we might do another dungeon and see how well they perform in there. I'm going to do the Grave of Curse. Now, I'm only gonna do this dungeon, guys, because I need to unlock the rest and I gotta go through all the stages. But I just want to show the true power of Ice Blast versus dungeon bosses too. Honestly, very impressive. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm really thinking to build Bladin and him for a second team in the Otherworld event. Most probably I'll be doing that because the regular Frost team won't be as powerful as the Ice Blast, you know. So I'm definitely leaning towards building a second Ice Blast with these two epic champions. So let's actually check quick the team that we have right here. We have, of course, Vinyara for decreased attack, and the rest is the same. We gave him back the gear that he had in the Vortex. Bladin did not got changed, or the rest either. I do have a bit of a timing, just in case if anyone was interested in how I'm running this dungeon. This is the exact same setup that I have on my main account. On my main account, I'm running Radiance, I think, because I've never updated my my team. I should run Sheena and Gertin, honestly. But let's see how fast is this going to melt the boss down here. What you're gonna notice is the ice crystals. When they start popping off on the boss, the damage is just going to... Look at that. Bang. A nice explosion from the ultimate and the Ice Blast. Call him Machine Gun Kelly, but this is a Machine Gun Seidic, you know, because he's literally dropping so many shots there, you know. We almost took the boss already down to 50% in 30 seconds. So Ice Blasts are very strong. Very strong. I'm glad that they finally added a different damage architecture for the Frost. Last season, I really struggled with the Frost and to deal damage on the world bosses. That was my weakest team out of everything, actually. Okay, since then, I've got some new champions in there too that could potentially elevate my team. Was the combination of the elemental affinity that we had last season, which wasn't that great. But anyway, they are much better. Much better. Look at that. 1 minute and 3 seconds. Grave of Curse, guys. You have Seidic and Bladin activating Seidic, and bang. 61.7% of the damage. The rest goes to Bladin. A bit goes to Vinyara, but the main damage there in the comp is him, you know, like, honestly, he's just so freaking good. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Have you been using Seidic so far? And if you didn't use him till now, are you going to use him? Because you might have him available together with Bladin. Appreciate every single one of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.